Hey everyone, Dev here, and this is part 2 of the war against this engineered Chinese clan. Now we're looking at some of our defences. Currently we've got 56 and they've got 42 with 3 hours 10 minutes remaining. We've managed to clear a significant portion of their bases. In fact, everything from 9 down has been 3-starred with some smaller bases in the middle and 2 up top to be done. Alright, they're at 42 and they seem to have stalled. They have been that way since about 6 o'clock this morning. And I'm going to show you some attacks to just highlight the reason why that is. The very first one I'm going to look at is a bit comical. This one here is their number 10 taking on our man Knipee at number 12. What do you notice about this attack? Yeah, it's drags, missing one vital element. Spells. Don't know what this person was trying to do. Maybe they were thinking just rush the town hall, get the star, get the loot. If so, they were very confident in their abilities because they haven't really given us any resistance at the moment, and they sort of are not in a position where they can loot. So the dragons, without the support, haven't been able to penetrate far enough into the core of the base, and they are just being picked off one by the air defences and the Teslas behind the town hall. And this person didn't get anywhere near a star in this particular attack. Pretty embarrassing, and I imagine this person will have very bitter memories of facing our man Knipee. Yeah, I like it when a good attack goes wrong. But in that case, no spells. I mean, that's just lazy or sloppy. Moving on to someone who's a bit more professional, we're going to look at their number 18. And his first attack was against Slyone, number 14. So obviously this person is engineered. They have level 4 dragons this time. And what they're doing is they're taking off this base and they're taking out those 2 air defenses first. Note that the air sweeper is still active. And I imagine they were trying to get that with the lightning and the earthquake earlier on. They've taken a piece of the queen, which is always useful. They've managed to trigger the CC. Out comes a dragon, max dragon, and the level 4s are now engaging with it. So that gives the air defense time to pop 1 or 2 of those dragons off, which is all very useful. Now, that Tesla that pops up is about to be joined by 2 more, further protection for the air defense. Now, that air defense was outside, so the trap was there. It was looking like it would be the obvious one to go for. Turns out that Sly managed to get them. Okay, as the rest of the traps pop up, he's obviously an experienced air warrior. He knows a thing or two about building a base designed to deflect dragons. So the sweeper is doing its job. It's pushing the dragons back. And what that means is with the air defense and the mortar and the archer tower here, it's actually pushing the dragons away from the town hall, which is quite good. One peels off and starts to take on the queen. Now, it's attacking the queen and manages to take their sweeper out at the same time. Crucially, the archer towers have had time to take pot shots at that dragon, and it hasn't been able to drop the town hall. Okay, so the rest of the dragons, all that's left now is that left-hand flank, that western sort of group of 3, and they will do some damage. They'll eventually path their way over to the Dark Elixir storage, as you can see, going to the cannon first, and Dark Elixir will be the closest. Okay, and they'll eventually take out the town hall, but that's about where the attack will stop, and only a 2-star attack here, which you'd hope for an engineered account, you'd really be expecting a 3-star attack on a smaller base like that. So this is the danger side, okay? If you're going to engineer your base, make sure you do the job well, because you will look like a fool if you don't. Okay, moving on now. We've got 2 Slyone attacks. First one is up against Luca. And this one here, the theme is Admiral Akbar's famous line, "It's a trap." Oh! You thought it was an easy CC draw. No, it wasn't. There was a Tesla there on purpose to deflect either a hog or a loon-based trigger. Okay, and we've got the air defense here covering it, and the wizard tower just in case they decide to send in some more. Okay, so the sweeper did its job there as well. Again, trying to get the loon across that line. Not going to happen. Please note that the shadow for a loon must cross over that line rather than the body. As you can see, you'd think that would trigger that CC, but it hasn't. And this one just gets across now and manages to trigger off 2. 1 wizard and 1 archer. And there are now 2 Teslas over here. That's a mean trick to play. Okay, so just be aware, easy CC draw on purpose. So this person decides to send in some minions, and I don't know what they're doing. They're sort of just taking their sweet time. Finally, they decide to drop the Hound in, and the Hound was probably the best option in the first place, rather than mucking around, tinkering with the time there. Okay, because the Hound is guaranteed to get across the line, ignores those Teslas. Okay, that should have been done. Maybe not the first loon, maybe after the second loon, you'd think, oh yeah, drop that. Okay, so the first Hound goes down thanks to the point defense of the Expos and the Dragon. Second one comes in. Dragon engages even though it's under poison. Note that the heal spell was forced there because of the splash damage from the Wizard Tower. And those balloons are being pathed all around the show. They're not sort of going anywhere in the base. They're sort of circling now. Going back now for that air defense. Finally it goes down. There's still 3 and there's not much left in the tank for this person. Okay, so he drops his CC. Hound and follows up with some loons and some minions, and this is where the good part of the Laloon attack actually happens. Alright, Hound doing its job there, tankings, popping, everything starts to go okay, but unfortunately the momentum is lost already. Okay, the only curious thing we have left to talk about is the skeleton spell. Perhaps maybe the skeleton spell could have gone down on that first air defense when it was engaged on the Hounds. I'm not sure, haven't really experimented with the skeleton spell too much apart from picking up the odd corner building. And here the sweeper is still doing its job, the queen still doing her job. Alright, vital that you take out the queen in any Laloon based attack. Here comes some minions, I think they're eventually going to overwhelm her. Here's the skeleton spell finally, not getting anywhere near that town hall though. So all in all, I don't think Luca's base was specifically designed to be anti-air. I think that sort of happened by accident. But all in all, a pretty strong showing there from someone who was quite clearly trying to use a very powerful army. As Laloons become much more fashionable, these sort of attacks, it's worth taking note of just in case you want to do it yourself. Right, this time round, number 3 decides to try and attack my man Omega Supreme. Now, as you can see, Omega Supreme, he is engineered 10, there are no Infernos, and you'd think with these air defenses pretty close by, there would be no real resistance. The only thing that's going to probably hold this person up is the, of course, difficult CC draw, and of course taking out the Queen, which is down here. So this person decides to send in some loons, having learnt the lesson from Luca, okay, and manages to trigger off all of the CC, or all the CC that attack the loons rather, and using a traditional sort of archer draw with a poison spell. This person has also learned from Luca and decides to drop some minions in to try and keep everything in that poison radius, which is quite clever. Okay, so you can see the baby dragon taking some damage there, trying to get away from it. And now decides to go after the loons. Now, because he didn't take out that baby dragon first, things are going to get pretty hairy. What we've got right here is 2 Teslas, not so hidden anymore, and we've got an air defense there. That Hound is already taking some damage. This person decided to come from the east to the west because that was the opposite direction in which the air sweepers were operating, so fairly clever. I imagine if I oriented them the other way, it would force them to attack from the north and the south, so I might actually consider that for the next war. So under Rage we drop 1 and a freeze spell, which is an odd choice, but in this case it does the job, keeps those loons alive so that it can take out the Teslas and the air defense. Okay, so the Hound goes for that one there, doesn't quite make it. A heal spell went down, but it went down a little late. And both the Hounds end up biting the dust, popping, spreading their puppies everywhere. Alright, and they're like with Luca, there just isn't enough damage being done to all the critical buildings. There's still 2 air defenses up, no more Hounds. That baby dragon and that queen are still a menace. They're still roaming around, picking off the odd lava pup every so often. Okay, and this person eventually decides to quit, having only got 27% from dropping 5. That's a bit embarrassing, dropping 5 and only getting 27%. Okay, so Omega Supreme, not as easy as you think. And the last one is the ground-based attack. There were only 2 ground-based attacks. This one, I might get around to showing you the other one. Probably don't have enough time. But this one is number 19. Number 19, take a look at that army composition. Level 4 miners. Okay, this person is quite clearly a Town Hall 11 engineered to be at number 19 on the list. Taking on number 2, J-Rock. And they're going to use miners. Now there is a problem with using miners. Okay, let's see if you can spot it. I'll give you a hint. It starts with F. And it ends with unnel. That's right, the funnel. Okay, you've got to have a really strong funnel when it comes to miners. And again, a loon-based draw with no hogs has become unsuccessful. This person has not managed to draw out the CC troops at all. Okay, so they've tried to start the funnel off with some very weak archers on that dark drill. The main thrust of the attack will come from this direction. Okay, cheeky hidden Tesla there. Good one, J-Rock. You trolled him. It's good. Again, I'm not really a fan of putting Teslas in the corners just for trolling purposes. I really am more of a, should be more useful. So use them in the core or as surprise value on the edges of the base. So he drags in a golem. We've got some wizards here to try and start that funnel up. And now he starts to deploy his miners. And without any real strong funnel, they are basically going into 3 different directions. We've got some going down here, some going for this, and some going over here. You want to keep them as grouped as possible, just like Valkyries and Hogs, so that the heal spells can be used much more effectively. Okay, so here, in goes the first group, drops the first heal. He's still got 3 left. Now the rest of the CC come out, and we've got some Barbarians, we've got some Valkyries, we've got some loons in there, and it's the loons and the baby dragon that are going to end up doing the damage, because there just isn't anything else that can take out air now. There's no more wizards, there's no queen, strangely enough, no queen. Okay, the Expo's going to town on that king over there. Okay, so you can see that even though those miners are under rage, under heal, they're still getting pounded by those CC troops. So with miners, it's got to be a strong funnel, and it's got to be a strong method of taking out the CC troops. Okay, Baby Dragon now peels off and starts taking on the Golem. Still got a few miners left. The last heal spell goes down. Yeah, they're doing damage. Okay, but they're not going to get anywhere near that Town Hall. Okay, so we're getting a very, I'd say, high 1-star, about 60-something%, as the loons take on that Golem. All right. As the final miners end up biting the dust because the Teslas are zapping them to death, we can see that this person decides to say, you know what, I've had enough. Even though I've still got a golem, I'm just going to quit. 62%. Right, so quick overview again. 42 stars is where they've topped out for the moment. They've still got their number 1 attacking, so there might even end up being a part 3 to this. They don't really have much left. We were very concerned that they were going to end up destroying us with their engineering. Okay, but taking a look over here, doesn't look that way at all. Okay, there haven't been any attacks at all today. I imagine they've thrown the towel in. So, this is part 2. Maybe there'll be a part 3. Not promising, okay? But from me, thanks very much for watching. It's a bit busy for me this week with football, so I will do my best to upload as many as I can in the weekend. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Dev out.